All right, hi everybody. This is Friday, March the 20th, 2016, and right now I am in Gotanda, which is a part of Tokyo, and this place is pretty cool. I'm staying at a friend's house here, and yeah, so let me first talk about last night, and then I'll get into the rest of what I really want this video to be about. So yesterday, it was raining at first, so didn't like we had drunk the night before because we hung out with the person I was staying with before, and we went to this izakaya. It was really awesome. Had some drinks. Went to another place that was really cool. Had some more drinks, and then went to another place and had some more drinks, and then came back and just crazy situation. Ended up just passing out for the night. So got up, did a little bit of recovery, and then my host here actually made food, and it was really amazing. But it was a really chill day, and I ended up randomly meeting somebody online who lives in the area. Went out to an area called Koenji. It's like, I guess it's a lot more young people, and it was really, really cool. More of the counterculture type deal. But yeah, so went there, went to this party, this weird little warehouse type club party or whatever. It's like 4 rooms with DJs and live bands, really awesome. There were like a bar and some craziness, and this place was packed. It was insane. People from everywhere, like random somebody from DC, somebody from Richmond, people from London, the UK, Sweden, France, all over the fucking place. It was really, really awesome. But part of leading up to us actually getting to the place, my newfound friend showed me like all of the cheap, awesome alcohol that you can buy at like the little convenience stores, and bought a few of those and got kind of drunk. Then got to this party. Somebody handed me a box of sake, and I got a free shot from the place, and I got fucked up. Like, what else do you want me to say? I was drunk as shit. But then that's when like just some other little amazing stuff started to happen. Like, I was fucked up. I'm trying to like stand up and not fall and puke and all that happy fun shit. So I'm sitting on this bench. It looks like I'm gonna puke, and then this person comes over and he's like, "Dude, are you okay?" And then he starts trying to help me out and everything. He gives me a bottle of water and he's like, "All right, just breathe. Like, you're gonna be fine. I'm gonna help you out. I just want people to have a good time." And ended up walking me around the corner to this place called Lawson's. It's this convenience store. Bought me some food and just reminded me to keep moving and keep breathing so I wouldn't get sick and pass out and shit. And just started giving me advice on like, if I really like it here, how to legitimately stay for longer periods of time. And it was really, really weird to me. Like, there were a bunch of other people who were at the club too, like asking if I was okay and trying to help me out and everything. And I'm not used to situations like that because, one, I don't go to parties and shit like this back in the States because generally they're populated by assholes, and I guess the similar experiences or the similar types of parties, even though there's nothing like this that I've ever been to back in the States. There's just never been anything that similar type of situation. Nothing where I really enjoyed myself in that kind of setting on that level. And yeah, like I recovered, continued to party until like 4, 5 in the morning. I fucking don't know. My phone died, and I had my battery charger, but I didn't have the cable to actually plug it in and charge it because I'm a dumbass. But anyway, and yeah, just a lot of awesome stuff just all happened all at once, and it just felt really good to be in a completely different environment surrounded by like really positive people. And that's not like back in DC. It's just not how things are. Like, I would have just been that guy passed out fucking drunk on the sidewalk where maybe 1 or 2 people were like, "Hey dude, are you okay? You doing all right? You know, to call the ambulance for you?" Like, no, here they're just like, "Dude, we're going to help you. We're going to make sure you're okay. We're not going to leave it to somebody else to be responsible for you." But anyway, party ended, they kicked everybody out, the sun came up, and we were literally just standing out in front of the place. Some other dude is a fucking inline skater there. He tried on my skates, and I ended up skating like down to the station where we all split up. And I went to McDonald's. I got something to eat, and I passed the fuck out for like an hour, hour and a half, just there in the McDonald's because apparently it's not that big of a deal. And then I made my way back here to where I'm actually staying. And before I could actually pass out, one of my friends contacted me to let me know that another one of our mutual friends had passed away. And like, I don't know, like I just think it's a really weird way of processing anytime somebody dies, like friends, family, like, I don't know, I'm not outwardly a very emotional person. But it really made me think about, like, what does it mean to have a life of meaning and to live a purposeful life? Which was kind of ironic that all of this would happen at the same time while I'm here in Japan. Because as anybody who's watching this, I'm pretty sure that you know about the whole Japan Splat project and the film that we were trying to do with that. That's literally what I devoted my mindset to when we started that project. It's like, okay, what does it mean to live a purposeful life? And like, what is the purpose of your life? And what the hell are you gonna do with your time here on this fucking rock? And that brutal reminder that life is finite. You really have no idea when your time's going to be up. It just made me really rethink and then solidify my personal beliefs on things. And just with this whole trip, like looking at the news of things that are going on back home, and just really realizing the difference of the sense of community here. Like, I've only been in Tokyo so far. Apparently, like, people are warmer and nicer in Osaka, which is kind of scary to me because, like, this place is, like, fucking amazing so far. Like, I haven't run into any assholes at all. It's just so unlike DC or New York or a lot of the places I've been. Like, sure, like, within, like, networks that I'm a part of, like, they're awesome people. Like, the skating network, flat out, hands down, some of the greatest people I've ever fucking known. Like, the friends that I've made, I'm a pretty good judge of character, I guess. And, like, my friends, you guys are fucking awesome, or else I wouldn't fucking associate with you. But then to come to a place where, like, this is just the basic mode of operation for just about everybody. Like, it just, I don't know, it's hard to describe it, but what I am taking away from, like, all of this experience, like, all of these things coming together collectively, is that, like, there's some crazy shit going on. Like, looking at the news, looking at what's going on with politics, just looking at, like, the experiences I've had and, like, my friends and my peers have had going through the educational system, going through the just life in America, and then life all over the world, that, like, shit's really crazy, and we're not, like, as a whole, the planet's not doing too well. Like, we're managing, but things are pretty fucked up a lot of the places that you go. So, on one hand, part of me is like, okay, well, there's just some crazy issues that I cannot tackle. Like, it's just not within my power to do anything about. Like, I can't deal with, like, military conflicts and shit going on in all these different places in the world. And I can't deal with, like, fucking human trafficking and crazy shit like that. That's a legitimate issue. But what I know I can do is I can have an effect on what's around me. And I can try and influence those around me to help actually build ourselves to a point where we can do something about these issues. So, in life, especially for, like, these past, especially 2 years, since my last revelation of like, holy shit, let me get my life together and really rethink things. The current expected lifestyle in the US is like this whole thing where you go to school, you get a job, you buy a house, you have a family, and you're good. But it's not really working, or I don't see it really working for people. Like, I see some of my peers, like, they went to school, they went through that whole fucking degree process and everything, and some of them have been able to land jobs, but then they're working jobs where it's like, okay, well, this job is paying for me to have a bunch of stuff that'll support this lifestyle that they don't necessarily enjoy. And then other friends, they go through the entire system and they're still looking for jobs so that they can fucking pay off their loans and all this other crazy shit. And then I look at my mom, who's like always going to be an inspiration to me, and how she's stuck in this loop of where she makes decent money and everything, but all that money is being spent to support like the house that she lives in, all this stuff that just really maintains her going to work every day, coming back home, and getting back up to go back out to work and not really doing anything for herself. And when I look at my life, I don't want to fucking do that. Like, I don't think that's a way to live, and I don't think it's a way anybody should live. So, with this whole crazy ass trip to Japan, with all the other crazy stuff that I do, the idea is, how do you take things that you legitimately enjoy doing and turn it into something that can support your lifestyle? I guess I'll be getting into the details of all of that later down the road, but right now I specifically want to talk about rollerblading because that's one of the main reasons that I'm here. So I started skating when I was 8, and nobody else skated. Like my oldest brother, he's what got me into rollerblading. I actually took his old skates and started skating up and down the halls in our house, and that's like where I got my first start on rollerblades. And like, there weren't any other kids that skated at first. Went to Roots, and then it became a thing for a little while, but then it died because to them it was just another fucking fad. And then left Roots, went to Tacoma, nobody else skated. And then I moved out to Virginia, nobody else skated. And I remember there was one morning I missed the bus and I tried skating in school, and I got pulled over by a fucking sheriff's car because you can't skate on the highway, something that I didn't know when I was in high school, or I think I did know, I just didn't give a shit because I was more interested in going to school. But for a really long time, I felt very much alone in my hobby. But it's what I enjoyed. It's what just kept me fucking going. And then, through all the crazy circumstances throughout life, it just so happened that right after I lost my job with Staples, because Staples is a shitty fucking company, fuck them, fuck what they're about, because they're really just about money and running people through the cycle of, we're going to work you until we don't like you anymore, and then we're going to get rid of you and then find somebody else who's stupid enough to fall for this position. So fuck Staples in general. I want you guys to know that. I'm not going to be apologetic about it. But it just so happens that after I lost that job, I got the opportunity to start working with DC Ice. And like, if you would have asked me when I was 8, when I was 10, when I was like 13, 14, 15, or any of that, when I was just skating and I was that guy out there on my own skating, I would never have thought that skating would be able to provide a way for me to support myself, like to feed myself, to pay for my apartment, to pay for any fucking thing, because that's not something that you would normally think about. Everybody thinks about skating as this thing that you do for recreation, you just do it for fun, but honestly, it's something that is very enjoyable to me. And now I can make a living off of it. But with that, it's just, that's when I first realized that it's entirely possible to live a life or have a lifestyle that you enjoy, but yet also that fulfills your requirement for work so that you're actually being a productive member of society. Like, sometimes at work I think that, oh, we're just sitting here playing games with the kids and everything. But then at the end of the day, I just step back and take a look, and I see how much like these kids like better themselves, like how much of a positive influence that we are on them, and how much it honestly helps them. Like that, it's a crazy thing. It's something that's tangible and visible, like just the positivity of it. And like that was my first real thing. It's like, okay, I can turn this into something real. Then it was a year ago that the Japan or Splat project started. And my idea with that was, okay, how is it that I'm going to take something that I've always just wanted to do? Like since I was like 5 years old, I remember standing there in the kitchen with my older brother. We were talking about video games or some dumb shit, and then I was like, I want to go to Japan. Like, it might have been related to video games. I honestly can't remember, but there was just that fucking thought then of, I have to go to Japan. And it's something that I've never let go of, I've never given up on, and really, I couldn't articulate why I needed to come here. But as things would happen, like with all my attempts in the past and just everything being extremely difficult because it's not cheap and it's not easy to get over here. Like so many attempts that I had made in the past to make it to Japan, and they all fucking failed. They all blew up in my face. And then the Japan or Splat project was like, look, I'm going to make this as public as possible. I'm going to Japan, and I want to like share that experience with people and make it inspirational. So all of this goes to like the trailer sort of for Japan or Splat. Japan or Splat is a film that's about showing people that just make a decision, decide to do something, stick with it, and like really believe, like if you truly believe in it, then you're going to make that decision to stick with it, and it's going to turn into your life. And as long as you devote yourself to it, and no matter how fucked up and ridiculous things get, you just believe that, hey, I'm going to make this happen. It'll happen. And like what comes of that experience of reaching that goal, you really have no idea how it's going to reshape your life. Like, I still like can't really articulate why I needed to come to Japan or why I felt that. But now that I'm here, growing up in the United States, growing up in DC, growing up in Virginia, like just social settings are so much different, and it's not nice. It's not all the land of milk and honey, as I don't know who the fuck would want you to believe that. It gets really fucked up sometimes. And I am an INTJ, so I am one of these rational, horrible fucks who is just very cut and dry, who's very set in their ways about things, judgmental. So growing up in American society for me felt like hell. Being a fucking black kid growing up in like lower middle class or middle class, I don't know. I guess that's the economic scale that I fall into. You see a lot of shitty things. You run into a lot of shitty people. And you definitely start to develop this hateful mindset towards the rest of society. But as things would happen, I just really like Japan. I like the idea of Japan. I like the culture of Japan. I was like, I need to go and experience this for myself. And now that I'm here, what I realize is that the world isn't as shitty of a place as I had thought it to be, or as I was made to believe it to be through the influence of people that were around me. My friends, you guys, cool people that I know, you guys are seeing this, but trust me, there are a lot of other fucked up people that I've had to deal with throughout life that, like, just trust me, it's shitty experiences that I really would rather not get into and relive. But coming here to Japan and all the crazy things that have happened just before the trip, on the way here, And since I've been here, just remind me that the world isn't so much of a shitty place and that we can do something to make the world better. Just if we start working together, if we start communicating with each other, and if we really start like figuring out what it is that we want out of life, what we want out of society, that we want as a global community, then we can start working together and make that happen. Like, there's just so much shit here where it's just like, wow. I look at it and I think it's insane and it's ridiculous. Like, you can see videos and stuff online about how like kids like will ride the train to school by themselves, and if you get on the trains here and see how crazy things get and see how packed it is, it's like, how the shit, why would anybody just throw their kid out there on the train like that? But that's just me stuck in my American way of thinking. Like, I wouldn't fucking put a 10-year-old on the fucking metro by themselves. Like, I wouldn't. But there have been so many times where I'll see kids riding in the street on bikes by themselves, and I mean like little kids, like 6, 7, 8 years old, on the trains by themselves, and like nobody's watching them, but at the same time everybody has this idea of collective responsibility where it's like, okay, that kid's just doing what they need to do, going throughout their life. Let's do whatever we need to do to make sure that things are safe for them. Like, it's extremely fucking safe over here. I've seen thousands of fucking bikes, literally thousands of bikes, and maybe like 5 or 10 bike locks so far. And do you see, if you see a bike without a lock, then you're expecting the person to be standing within 5 feet of it. Shit, I was out doing deliveries, getting ready for this trip. I walk inside for like 30 seconds to go pick up some food, and I come back out and somebody stole my shit. So it's just the reminder that I needed, that the world isn't a shitty and fucked up place. And then for me to be here and to just randomly meet like really cool and awesome people, and like they don't know me from another fucking stranger on the street, but at the same time they trust me enough to say, hey, come out and drink with me and my friends, or hey, come stay in my place for a few days and I'm giving you a key and just come and go as you need to. Like, that shit's just crazy to me. But this doesn't need to be only a Japanese thing. This is something that we can take back to, that we can just implement in America, in Europe, wherever the fuck you go. Like, as a global community, we really can just decide, okay, let's change our attitudes, let's change our behavior so that this world, this planet isn't such a shitty place to live on. Let's make it so that we don't have a need for insane like military grade equipment and local police stations and shit. Let's make it so that we don't have a need for so that we don't have a need for privatized prisons. Like, let's just change our attitudes and behavior so that this place isn't so fucked up. So, I'm kind of just ranting at this point because I'm still trying to process all this shit. Like, just trying to process the craziness of today, last night, this week, this trip, and all that's going on. I don't know. Anyway, let me get the hell off of here because I still need to like get my shit together, plan out how I'm getting to Osaka tomorrow, and all that happy fun shit. But anyway, if you watch this, I don't know, please get in touch with me. If you're one of these other people who magically exist and you really have this idea of we all can do better, then shit, like, talk to me. I'm a fucking introvert. I'm not going to be always there and in your face, and I'm not always going to be available, but I will always take the time to listen legitimately to what somebody has to say if their mindset is, let's make things better. Anyway, like I said, I have shit to go do. I need to sort my life out. I will see you guys later. Peace.